Okay, next topic. Share. This is a good one. We've talked about this article. We talked about this earlier. I like this because it says I improved 15 LLMs coding in one afternoon. Only the harness changed. In fact, only the edit tool changed. So I think the cool thing about this that we want to keep hammering in to you as the audience is the harness matters. How the harness, because the harness includes tools that it uses to read files, to write files, to even understand the code, right? Are you grepping or are you using something like LSP to actually understand the semantics of this code has these functions and these functions have these references? That's all at the harness level, not at the LLM level. So this article takes you through how they improved just the edit tool. And it goes through, okay, Claude Code is using this str replace, which shows how it edits files. Codex uses apply patch, which is more like a diff than a string substitution. Cursor has its own neural network of how to do mergers, which this one said was kind of neat. It goes to the aider approach. This one's talking about the author of this came up with something called hash line, where they actually have a line and you can tell distinctly if a line changed. So anyway, it's a neat little post just talking about, it also introduces the pi harness. And this is just as an interesting aside. While writing this article, Google banned my account from Gemini entirely. So like we said earlier, don't put all your eggs in these closed providers.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't know, the context here is like, maybe they used anti-gravity or Gemini CLI OAuth for the Pi agent harness.
Yeah, they use Gemini 3 Flash in Pi.
Because people have been talking about that, no prior notice, and their response is, oh, we needed to, restore or maintain functionality for our customers, for our real actual customers. You're like, hey, so we're not your actual customers just because we're using a different harness? Yeah,
that whole blessed harness model. I mean, I get the argument, but I don't like it. I could say, okay, I get it, like I can parse it. My brain understands the structure of that argument, but I think it's kind of stupid.
I mean, I think if you need to try and handicap your model or your harness to give it a handicap because it's not the best, and so you're going to subsidize its cost and you're going to block other people from leveraging that subsidy on their harness of choice, that's not ultimately going to be a technical differentiator. I don't think it's sustainable, for how to engage with the developer community or for having the technical product.
No. With that being said, I would love to know what the true margin on tokens are. Because I would figure something like Amazon Bedrock, like maybe they're going to have a 50% margin across all of their models. Let's say 100% margin, right? But that would give you a good proxy for like your true rate when we get out of the whole VC distortion, right? Like sometimes I see like the Claude Max plan is like, remember when Uber used to be really cheap? And you're like, okay, this is not going to last. So enjoy these cheap rides now. I do think that
I think it's an extremely difficult question to answer technically. Because hardware changes and there's this lifespan of hardware and there's this lifespan of models, and you have to think about the R&D of models. Like you can't just look at the price of serving a model. You have to look at the price of kind of building it in the first place. And I think proportionally, that can be a much larger cost. But like, I've wondered, when people think about, VC subsidies and, how much money OpenAI is losing and are they even going to survive? But then you look at what Anthropic charges for Sonnet or for Opus compared to what ZPU charges for GLM or what Moonshot charges for Kimi or what Minimax charges for M2.5. And it makes those subsidies become like air quotes, like, is that actually just like you're reducing your margin? You're not really subsidizing, like they're still making a profit on the coding plans, if they're charging 10 to 20 times as much, I don't think their models cost 10 to 20 times as much to serve. Like maybe they'll cost more to train, maybe, If you include the training cost into the total cost of production, and serving, it's a tricky thing to try and, especially from the outside, and get a handle on.
I mean, I see people begging Anthropic for $1,000 a month plans. I say, could you just give us $1,000 a month plan that's totally unlimited, no rate limits, whatever. But then if you use the Anthropic API, you could burn through that in 2 days easily.
Yeah.
Just playing around with Gastown, and not everything Opus, like Sonnet for most of it, still easy to burn through $1,000 in 2 busy days. So it's not clear.
Remember hearing about people having multiple Claude accounts for that purpose.
Oh, easy. All right. The cool again, spiky point of view, invest in your harness, or at least know what your harness is doing for you versus what your model is doing for you. Okay. What did you think about that clip? I hope it was useful. Check out the link in the description for the full episode. And we have new episodes coming out every single week, sometimes several times a week, about the latest AI news. We're doing a deep dive into OpenClaw soon. Check out our Substack. Follow us on all the different social media programs. Ask us questions, and check out our Discord, where we have lots of good AI chat discussions. Links are all in the description. See you next time.